Hey guys, welcome back to Cinema 4D tutorials. So today let's have a quick tour over the interface of Cinema 4D. As we know, Cinema 4D is a very vast software for 3D modeling and animation. We've got a variety of options over here. So let's have a quick tour at the interface, as I said. So on the top you've got the something called as a shelf. So in the shelf you've got many icons. So the first icon that you see is the selection tool. So on the selection we've got live selection, rectangular selection, lasso selection and polygon selection. So let's see how does this selection tool exactly work like. Let's drop in and cube. Now I'm going to do something called as editing. You don't really need to worry about it since I'm going to explain it to you later that what is editing in this tutorial. Now I just want to show you how does the editing tool exactly this selection tool exactly work like, so don't worry about it. I've got the live selection tool. I could select individual points separately like this, and then I can certainly drag them out like this. So you see I've got an effect like this, and now I've got the rectangular selection tool. That is, I make a rectangle, whatever comes under the rectangle is selected, and then I can drag them out. We've also got the lasso selection tool. That is, I draw freehand drawing, and whatever comes under the drawing, all the points that come under the drawing are selected, and again I can drag them out. And finally we've got the polygon selection tool. That is, like, I can make a polygon over here like this, and when I make the polygon, whatever is under the polygon is selected. So now like, I made the polygon, the dots are selected, I can again drag them out. So this was all about the selection tool. Let's go ahead and delete this cube now and add another cube, or maybe a sphere. So now the next tool that we're going to have a look is the move tool. When you click on the move tool, the sphere selector, and you click on the move tool, you get three gizmos: the green, blue, and red. The red one helps you to move left and right, the blue one front and back, and the green one up and down. You might be thinking, how does blue helps us to move front and back? Depends upon the frame set and the perspective you're looking at. You see now it's front and back, right? And the red one is left and right. And another tool that we have for the coordinates are the scale tool. And when you use the scale tool, the good part is that it always scales it in a ratio, proper ratio. So you see I can enlarge my cube to whatever size I want, getting it back to the normal size. We got something called as a rotation tool. To understand rotation tool, we'll have to delete the sphere and add in something like a cube. Now if I click on rotation tool, you see I can rotate my cube now. So see, this is how the rotation tool works like, and this is the tool that you used last. Like, for example, if I click on move tool is the one that I used last, so the option that comes up here is the move tool. Now let's delete this cube and add another cube. I want to skip over these tools right now, I mean the XYZ that you see, and I want to get back to, I want to start with the render view. So if I click on render view, I get a proper render view of what, like, at the particular frame set. So right, this what my render exactly looks like. Then I've also got something called as a picture viewer. So I can simply click on it and get a picture view. And now let's close this. And also the shortcut for your render view is Ctrl R, and picture view is Shift R. Hope that helps. And then we've also got some the primitive objects. I mean, we have looked at them earlier, but we haven't given them a particular name. So the name of these objects is called the primitive objects. So you see, you've got a cube, cone, cylinder, and many other objects. So, like, let's drop in a cube and a cone over here. Get the cone towards this side. So you see, we've got two primitive objects right now in the studio. Let's go ahead and delete this. And we've also got something called the spline tool or the freehand tool. So using a freehand, I can make a freehand drawing like this. So it's just to give you a basic idea. And this might also be similar to Photoshop. Also, we've got the spline tool. I mean the Bezier. We can. I'll rather explain it with Bezier. See, similar to Photoshop if you're a Photoshop user. So this is how the Bezier works. And we've also got a text. See, all this is under something called as a spline tools. So let's go ahead and delete everything. Next, you've got something called as the generators. Now these generators need something to work on. I mean, they need an object on which they can work on. For example, if I just add an extrude, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So what I have to do, I have to add in something like a text. Then I add a extrude and I get text in the extrude. So you see, it makes some geometry for me. Basically, my text has become 3D now. Just let me give a render view. Control R. See this how my text looks. Interesting, right? Let's go ahead and delete this. Now we have got the array or the modeling tools, and we'll look at them later, not now, not in this tutorial. We've got also something called as a deformation tool. Under deformation, we've got many things like the bend, twist, melt, and other stuff. So let me give you a simple example of the deformation tool. So for that also we need some an object that it can act on. So I'm going to add a cube, and I'm going to give it a proper size like 50 into 3. Okay, 50 was too much. Back to 200. You see now I make it like 10 into 200 into again 10, and wait, we make it like 500 or 3 400, maybe 500 600. Yes, so see now it's pretty long enough so I can show you. Now I click the cube and click on shift and click on this deformation tool, that is a bend tool. So I get a bend under cube. Now as I told, I'm going to explain you editing later, so on this tutorial, so just don't worry about what I'm doing now. Now if I go to my bend tool, I can increase the strength to bend my cube now. So you see, let me show you render view. This is how my tool, I mean my, what do we say, cube looks like. And you see, like, it's not a perfect bend, I mean it's not a smooth bend too. So to make it smooth, I can get back to cube, I can change the segments to 100 into 100 into 100. Now you see, if I give you a render view, it will be like kind of smooth, it will be smooth curve. Also we can change the radius and bend when we change the strength, but let's change the radius. So you see, it can help you to move it. Let's again get a render view. It's like this. So you see, now we have started to generate interesting results. Also we've got something called as the environmental tools, that is the floor, sky, environment, and other stuff. That it's basically done with it's basically used for texturing. For example, I could add in a floor, I could add in something like the sky, or whatever you want to add. And you can give them some particular colors. I'll explain you how to give particular colors also. And we've got something called as a camera. I've got five types of camera. My sixth camera is deactivated for now, since I have to go on my mod settings and then change them. So we'll check them out later. And we've also got something called as a lighting effect. Let me show you how does the lighting works. I've got a cube, and now I drop in a floor, and I get a light. I get the light right behind the cube, and the cube, I select the cube, I get it up, like get it behind. So you see, now when I click on render view, it gives me a proper texture. You see, it gives me proper light effect. But you see, I'll also tell you how do you add in the shadow effect. Simply go on light, on shadow, make it from none to shadow map soft. And now when I click on render, I get a proper shadow also, you see. So again, this is interesting. Now we finally come to something called as the object manager. In Cinema 4D we've got something called as the object manager. Basically, it displays all the objects that are present in your studio. For example, if I drop in a cube in the studio, I get a cube in the object manager. Also, I can rename it by double clicking. I can make it like box something. And one more thing that you need to look on is the traffic lights. For now, let's just deactivate the grid. It's kind of annoying. So now we've got something called as a box. I mean, it's the traffic lights. So see, we've got two dots over here. If I make the dots red in color, like now, if I make this red in color, you see I can see this cube in the normal view but not in the rendered view. And if I make this back to normal and I make this red, so you see I can not see the box in the studio, I mean the normal view, but I can see it in render view. And if both of them are selected, I can neither see the box in the studio nor the rendered view. So let's go ahead and deselect them, get them back to the gray color. And we've got something called the Phong tab, that is, basically Phong tag helps you to do the texturing and other stuff, and we'll look into it later. Now let's go ahead and delete this cube. You've got something called the attribute manager or the property manager. So if I add in a cone, for example, or cylinder maybe, I get some properties of the cylinder that I can edit anytime. Like I've got the radius, I can increase the radius of my cylinder. I could increase the height of it. And you see I can also increase the height segments and rotational segments like this. So it divides my cube into many segments now. Also we got something called as the orientation. Orientation means that on what axis shall the object exactly lie. So right now it's lying on the y axis. I could also change it to x axis, so it lies down now. Interesting, right? And we get to basics. We got something called as the x-ray. Let me explain you what is the x-ray. So suppose we drop in a cube and a sphere, and I get my sphere this side. You see, like if I show you the cube in this way, I cannot see the cube. But if I click on sphere and activate the X-ray, I can see through the cube now. I mean, I can see this through the sphere and I can see the entire cube. So pretty useful, right? And X-ray is a very important component in modeling, in 3D modeling. A very important component, helps you a lot. And now let me show you what is this is a material editor. So you can always double click in the material editor to add in a material. Now like let me show you how does a material editor work. Like suppose I add in two materials. The one in one material I give it a color of something like red. I give it a red color. The other material I give it a blue color. You see, I can either give the cube a red color or the blue color. Similarly for sphere I can give it a red color or the blue color. So now like I click on this material one and drag it or drop it under cube. So you see like my cubes become red in color. Or what I could do, I drag my material and drop it under cube over here. Then also my cube becomes red in color. Similarly, let's give a color to the sphere. And another thing, material editor is very useful to add a field to your object. You see it's got many options such as the reflection. So if I click on reflection, I check it over here, I got the reflection on. Now I change my brightness to something like 30%, and I close it. Let me show you how does the reflection exactly work. Like let me add in a floor and drag the floor under, so that my cube and the sphere lies on the floor, and I drag my material under the floor. And also you have to give my floor some good color. I would give it something like gray. Now suppose I click on render. You see I can get a small, I mean some minor reflection over here. You could always manage the reflection by going to material and changing the reflection. For example, if I get to 100% and then I show you the render view, it's basically like I've got a replica of the cube and sphere. So let's go ahead and delete all these things and now activate the grid once again. And then I go to my you see like I've finally enough when we have learned about all this, I told you that I'll be teaching you about this editing. So editing is nothing a lot to do. Like it's basically I add in something like a tube. Then I go to object, I set its inner radius, I can increase, I set its outer radius. Then I can certainly increase the height. Let me give a simple example actually. let me delete tube and get in a cube. Now you see I can give this cube some segments, like I would give it like something like 20 into 20 into 20. So basically my cube is made of 20 into 20 segments, that is 8,000 segments. So now if I click on cube and click on C, I mean see, either I can click over here, or the shortcut is that just click on cube and click on C. It will make your cube editable. And keep in mind that once your cube is made editable, you lose your object tab. Forget what I'm talking about. If I, like example, if I add in a cube, I've got an object tab by default in the attribute manager. But if I like make it editable, then I lose my object tab. So take care of that while editing. It's an important factor. Now if I get back to this cube, kind of zoom in, I click on my live selection tool, and as I've told you earlier, I've got the point level selection. I can select the edges, or I could even select the surface. So like I select some few like some surfaces, drag it out, and like change the angle just to show you the effect, and I can drag it like this. See, now again I can select this, I can drag it out. So this is how the editing exactly works like. And yeah, we're done with it, the basic. Okay, before this we've got something called as the animation panel. In animation panel, this green dot, the square dot, tells you that currently in which keyframe, and this is very useful in animating. And we've got these four tabs over here. This helps you to animate your position, scale, rotation, and parameters. And the point level animation, we're not going to go to point level animation for now in this tutorial, but we'll certainly cover it up in later tutorials. Generally these position, scale, and other stuff are turned on, but you can also turn it off. And now we are going to have a look at animation in later tutorials, not going deep into this tutorial. And thanks for watching this. Please do like and subscribe, since it encourages me to upload more tutorials. And goodbye till then. Bye.